Shashlik is not a food. It is a lifestyle. You marinate for 2 days. Go outside to the open air and let the hot coal do the rest. Enjoy it with a nice tall glass of kvass. But what if there is no grill available? The outside has been switched off. Maybe babushka is not home, or even worse, your old trusty grill has finally given in to the rust and cooked its last meal. So what do? You are confined to the kitchen. What, you make котлет instead and wait for the shashlik to rot? No, not in this house. Never in this house. This we fix. And for this, there is Boris.
He is Boris!
I have never in my 1,000 years tried making shashlik in the kitchen or on anything else besides hot coal. Okay, maybe a few times on gas grill, but that was nightmare fuel. But at least it was outside. But let's say outside is not available. So what? Give up and buy burger instead? Ha! Never. We will try to cook it in the kitchen. Alright, let's begin. Well, there are worse things to do in the kitchen besides boiling a perfectly good shashlik. If I find one, I will let you know. No. The logic is simple. If you think about where you would find pork in the Slavic kitchen, exactly, it is in soup. So would it be such a stretch to add the boiling treatment to this pork as well? And I will tell you right now, I did the test and the results are in. Despite looking like a pensioner's boot heel, 5 days before payday, the smell of the final product was surprisingly pleasant. But knowing exactly how it was meant to be cooked, I kept it a good 15 centimeters from my face. The fat is stringy, the texture more similar to wrapped pants, and overall look like landing gear parasites from Fifth Element. Okay, I did not have much hope for this one either, but come on, you cannot help but get excited about the possibility of making shashlik in a pot. And also I do have 3 kilograms of product to cook. So I think we can sacrifice a few pits to get it right. Now, boiling was not the first option, but it was the most logical one. And it also takes like 10-15 minutes of boiling to get the meat done that is as tender as marinated pork. And in the top 5 tier list of home kitchen shashlik showdown, boiling gets a low 1 out of 10 for texture, like chewing on a wet rag, and 3 out of 10 for smell, basically a mix of hot garbage and a failed science experiment, and a surprisingly high 7 out of 10 for flavor. It is not unlike any other soup meat, just more oniony and more vinegary. Overall score 11 out of 30. A very average, but Boris' top tip: if boiling is the only option, do it in larger piece. Keep the moisture inside, yes. Raw meat, hot surface, sounds like grilling to me. I mean, would it be such a stretch of the imagination to think we are real making the real thing? I mean, it cannot be bad as boiling, can it? To the kitchen! So, as I said, would it be such a stretch to imagine? There is heat, there is meat, and a bit of time, and it's ready to eat. There is no real reason for it not to work, and as long as you do not accidentally burn the pig bits on a stick, you end up with something that at least looks like it belongs on your dinner table. A few scorch marks on the side for decoration, and of course added texture, and we end up with, visually at least, the best thing so far. But what will say the scores? I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst garbage in the world. I've had better, but none of those have been made on a pan. Forget I'm using this for fuck. It's not even plugged in. Texture, I would say, it's a good, solid. It's a strong 6. It's good. It's very nice. It's crisp. It's crisp as you make it, really. Smell, I mean, 5. Definitely 5. This was no surprise. It was going to be really good. Блин. Flavor. Honestly, surprisingly, compared to the boiling one, it's not so bad. And I mean, pan fried, I would give it a 7. It wasn't worse. It wasn't especially good. 99% of the quality of the shashlik comes from the marinade and time.
Thankfully, time is something we have a lot, and is also the secret ingredient to most of my recipes, which I should have mentioned before. Probably I've done this 11 years, never have I mentioned time as an ingredient. And pan fry gets 18 out of 30, a nice score of above average, unlike the production value of these videos. I'm 50-50 on this one, meaning half the stuff I expected turned that shit as usual, but the other half, perfection on a stick. So the biggest thing I never expected was the fat to be rendered as well as it was. You see, when you're boiling shashlik or any other pork, the fat turns into a low quality woolen sock, but frying makes it soft and juicy even. I would say about on par with the quality of hot coal. The texture of the meat is firm, a bit dry but still better than boiled. So I did use a lid for frying, but you don't really need it. You see, the marinade in the meat combines with the fatty pork to make a delicious pool of grease right inside the pan. So whether your oven has a grilling feature or not is completely irrelevant. What we are doing is not grilling. Look at what we need to mimic a fraction of the power of the Shashlik grill. Actually, this makes me want to play my summer car. Starting the sun and burning the house down and whatnot. Oh, it's so nice. I know my winter car is that also, but winter is over and who has the money? So I threw it in at 200 degrees. At rotating air function, or what the oven thinks is grilling function. First 180 degrees for 15 minutes and then 220 for another 15 minutes. And mama, let me tell you, it is nice. The whole room, the whole apartment, even the stairwell for 2 days later was filled with a thick smoke of shashlik making. Not gonna lie, the smell is part of the experience of grilling, and brushing that shit off your clothes for the next week is all better for it. So definitely extra points for that. Not many points for the meat itself. The meat was somehow dry and moist at the same time. Let's see how it reflects on the scores. So, texture, we're comparing to the real thing. And of the real thing, it was about 30%. But the smell, the smell, it is baked into my head, and the curtains will smell of shashlik long after I have gone. Also, smell of the meat was also nice. But the flavor, now we come to a problem. I would have thought the marinade would make them all the same flavor. But unfortunately not. Maybe all the flavor escaped in form of smell. But that last score put it on par with pan frying. And that takes half the time. So why bother? Being nothing short of literal steamed hams, this is part of the process to glorious success. If slight inconvenience is the only thing stopping you from greatness, then greatness will forever be just a hair out of reach. So I steam some shashlik, what's gonna happen? I predicted it was going to be bad, but that's just my Slavic pessimism. Maybe he's born with it, maybe it's steamed hams. So in they go, about 20 minutes later, a travesty comes out. It was bad. Let's just move on. Looking back now, in hindsight, it does look like the most logical option. After all, the cast iron oven pot is the #1 choice for making Christmas pork, so why should summer pork be any different? I give the meat the royal shashlik treatment to imitate its natural environment. A small amount of water in the bottom, so it's not burned completely. Give it a quick checkup at 20 minutes in, at 180 degrees, and let it sit for 20 more. Just like oven grilling, the room, the kitchen, the apartment, the bathrooms, the whole building filled with the smells of Slavic summer. It was completely breathtaking. It was, well, a completely acceptable alternative. It was so good, I even almost got a bite before the rest of family wanted to try. But would it be better than pan frying and oven grill, which are tied for first place? Drum roll, please. The true winner is the enemies we made along the way. Because friends come and go, but enemies, they stick around for life.
Okay, the texture was the best of them all. I would not say much better, but slightly better than pan fried is the 7. The smell, nah, oven grill, it blasted it out of the system, it was into the stratosphere, best out of them all. So this was close, but the lid covered most of the smell. So the apartment not smell as good, but for that, the meat smelled even better. Yes. Nah, flavor, I would say it is almost exactly the same as the pan fried one. So nothing big changes there. But still, this does conclude that all of this does surprisingly give the best result. 23 out of 30. Thank you. This concludes the science project. Now, time to call бабушка. Maybe she's back home.